This is In Character. I'm your host, Gerard Robinson, Vice President for Education at the Advanced Studies in Culture Foundation.
Hello, I'm Catherine Bassett, sitting in for Gerard Robinson, the Vice President for Education at the Advanced Studies in Culture Foundation. And I'd like to welcome you to an episode of In Character, where we interview outstanding teachers one-to-one. And this evening, we are fortunate to be joined by Leticia Ingram. Leticia is from Colorado, and I'm going to ask her to introduce herself and share a little bit of information about herself. Leticia.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today, Catherine. And I am so excited to say I can be called Dr. Leticia Guzman Ingram now. Just finished my doctorate in educational leadership with Abilene Christian University and specializing in emerging technologies. So I'm so excited to be here today. I live in the Rocky Mountains in a little town called Basalt. And I love teaching and I love students and teachers, and I just get so excited when I talk on something like this.
Well, first, congratulations on earning your doctoral degree. That's an immense achievement, and you should feel so proud. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And I know that you had to take some time away from teaching in order to do that, which is what you should do. And I know that you're excited about heading back into the classroom now that experience is concluded. Why rural? Why do you teach in a rural community?
Well, I grew up in a rural town and the border of Texas and Mexico. So I come from a rural town, and it's actually a lot bigger than where I'm at now. My town's even smaller here. So I think that just having the roots of that, first of all, but then coming here, I just love that sense of community in a rural town. It's like everyone knows everybody's kids, it's a family or a tribe, as you would call it, and everyone takes care of each other. And, the community's super involved. And even if people don't have kids, they're super involved. And so I love that about this area. And I think that's why. And also, I think sometimes the rural schools get left out. And I feel like I want to say, hey, we're here. And I just want to be a voice for rural schools, because I think we get left out sometimes and we fall through the cracks, and so I want to be that voice for rural schools.
I agree with you. Sometimes rural communities do fall through the cracks, and rural schools certainly fall through the cracks. What is something that you would want our listeners to know about teaching in a rural school? What's one of your greatest joys, and what's one of your greatest challenges?
I think, well, first of all, I'll start with challenges. Sometimes, like I said, we do fall through the cracks. So, for example, when COVID hit, I was still teaching at that time and realized that people just says, oh, we'll just get on Zoom. And then you realize that two of my classes are English language learners, and none of them had Wi-Fi in their home. And people just assume that you can catch it anywhere. Well, I have trouble. I pay for extra high-speed Wi-Fi and I still get dropped. And, I still have trouble with Wi-Fi. And then there's not like, in the big cities, they would say, if you came to this area, you could get Wi-Fi or whatever. It's not like that here. It's really hard. And depending where you live, and you might not be able to get Wi-Fi at all, or it just wasn't that easy. And so a lot of my kids never even ended up getting Wi-Fi till this year.
Wow.
And so it's just things like that. And you don't think about it. And you just assume that everyone has what you have, and it's not available to everybody. So kids, got lost, and it was hard, especially my immigrant kids.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the challenges that happens to rural kids. We just don't have all access to a lot of things that students do in the city. So and I guess what I would want to say, you said the other one was the positive. Is that correct?
One of the greatest joys.
Yeah, I think the greatest joys, like I brought up, is that the community knows everyone. It's so like I had this big Thanksgiving dinner for my immigrants, and everyone showed up in the community. It wasn't just, the teachers and the students. It was the policemen wanted to be there and be waiters so that the immigrants wouldn't be scared of them. The students, the mayor was there cutting the turkey, the architects came to measure the tables and the chairs and make sure they were far enough for people to walk through. And it was, everybody was involved. They're saying, oh, this is going on. The local grocer donated groceries. The country club chef said, hey, we'll cook for it. And do you know how that made our newcomers new to the country feel like they really belonged and people cared? And I think that's what it's all about, is realizing that everyone's really the same, and we just need to really respect and get to know each other. And you can do that in a rural school.
Yeah.
A lot of times those big schools, you can't do that. And I feel very, very blessed to have that we can. If I have a need, last year, a lot of my newcomers didn't have gloves or coats. And I just made it known to the community, and our local thrift store started they sent so many, I had too many that. So it's like, if there's a need at our school, people will jump in.
That's awesome. That's a wonderful thing to share with people who are not familiar with rural communities. Thank you for that. You had the honor of being recognized as your state's Teacher of the Year. Can you share a little bit about what that was like and what it taught you and what you brought back to your community as a result?
Yes, well, first of all, just being honored as State Teacher of the Year was so uplifting, and it just made me so proud of who I was as an educator. And so it really upheld the profession. And that was so important to me. And I just saw the value. In fact, I always fight for teachers' rights now, because I feel like we are professional and people need to see that. And the State Teachers of the Year showed me that, and how we need to speak up for what we believe, and and just help other educators. And I was honored that I could represent Colorado teachers, and I just want to be able to do that for them, what National State Teachers of the Year did for me, and make me feel so proud of who I am and what I do. And I think, and then just the family, because there was a state teacher for each, there was a teacher for each state, and just the bonds we have, is that we can call each other. Even today, it's been 5 years now, and I actually talked to one of the other State Teachers of the Year last night. And so it's just nice to be able to pick up that phone. And even I remember earlier, or last year at the end of the year, I was so down about something that had happened, and I call, and they're all like texting me and emailing me and saying, you can do it, you got this, girl, we believe in you. And so that family pride is great. And so I'm just so thankful for that opportunity. Plus, it opened so many doors to other opportunities. So I just want to give back by making sure that I honor that and honor other educators. So I thank the National State Teachers of the Year.
Give an example of an opportunity that you had, a door that was opened.
Okay, so one of the coolest things I did ever was work with National Geographic. So I got in a fellowship with them, and they sent me to the Arctic Circle and did research there for a couple of weeks, and it was amazing. I kept pinching myself to make sure it was not a dream, but I learned so much just listening to the researchers, picking their brain, going out in those boats and taking pictures of polar bears. It was amazing. And I never would have gotten that. I don't think I would have even had the courage to sign up if I hadn't had the confidence that the National Teachers of the Year gave me, and that opened doors to seeing that there are opportunities. I didn't even know there was all these opportunities for teachers. Then now I try and pass that on and say, hey, get involved. Here's what's going on. And, but it was an amazing. I had so many doors. I've been able to go to, I went to The Hague, I went to China, Finland, and it's all because of the National Teachers of the Year, the organization, and helping support me and show me what's out there. So
awesome. And what a wonderful gift to bring back to your students.
Oh my gosh, it's been amazing, because I did a whole talk with pictures from the Arctic, and we started really getting involved with climate change and how it's affecting the world and advocating. And they started these apps called Literati, where they take pictures of trash and put it on data and restaurants would use less plastic straws because they saw the data. There's just been so many things like that. And then I am involved now with Global Choices, which advocates and empowers women from all over the world to protect their earth. And I never would have dreamed, I'm an English language learner teacher, that I would even be doing that. And
Right.
So it all started back with our National State Teachers of the Year, is opening those doors. And the reason I got involved with that is because they saw an article I did about the Arctic. So you see how it all builds on each other.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, you went to the Arctic. And so they asked me to be their education consultant. So
Wonderful. Well, we're in our last couple of minutes. Is there anything that you didn't get to share in the whole group session that you would like people to know?
I would say is just to, I thank people for watching, and just know that you are important as an educator. And if you're not an educator, go thank your teacher. And even if you don't have a child in school, just to be thankful and tell them how much you appreciate, especially after this COVID year pandemic, is just tell them how much you appreciate. And if you're an educator, I just want to thank you for all that you do. And you're important. You have the best job in the whole world. That's what I say, because everyone says how one teacher affected them and how they treasure that. And just remember that you are touching lives.
Thank you so much, Dr. Guzman, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I thank you for taking time to do this and elevate our voices.